Lobster Magnet. Lobster's a 10, I told you grab it. Welcome to Lobster Magnet's Review the Channel for another solo review on Attack on Titan. I'm a little bit slow on this. I've been working on a super big project that chances are you might not won't be able to see. Maybe I'll figure out some way to show it to you. But yeah, it's a really epic 47-minute video, but for certain reasons I can't show it to anyone, which is a shame. But we'll see. I'll see if I can make some little changes and rejiggerings, and maybe I can get it out to the world at large. But we are not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about Attack on Titan, Chapter 103. And, you know, technically there really isn't a lot to talk about in this chapter, because it was mostly just like a big old action chapter. We just got to see, you know, the Survey Corps clash against the Marley and warriors, and it was a fun, good time. I was a little disappointed about a few things, like, you know, we got to see a rematch between Levi and Zeke and the Beast Titan, and you know, Levi just, like, knocks him down. Like, on one hand, though, I did like seeing it break down. At first, it's like, you know, oh, we're in a formation. We got, you know, Peak and her Cartman Titan. It's got the Panzer unit on. We're going to, like, defend Zeke's back. Zeke's going to throw rocks. He's going to kill everything. We've got Porco, and he's got his, like, Jaw Titan. But then Porco's like, oh, if we could just get Eren, we'll end everything. So he rushes off. That leaves the flanked, completely exposed enough for Levi to, like, sneak in, and then he just, like, kills Zeke in the most, well, he may not be dead, but he takes down Zeke in the most anticlimactic way. He just slashes the nape of his neck, and then drops a bomb in there, and I really hope that's not the end of Zeke's character. I feel like there's a lot of, like, rich potential that hasn't been exploited from Zeke. Like, you know, Zeke is Eren's half-brother, like, you know, it'd be interesting to see them meet up with each other, and, you know, we haven't really seen the Beast Titan do anything other than, you know, throw rocks at people, which is kind of disappointing because, you know, it looks like, you know, oh, it's the Beast Titan. It's gonna, you know, got these long, spindly arms. I want to see it fight something. I want to see it punch and kick. Let's see it get into a MMA fight, like, you know, Eren versus Rainer. You know, that's what I want to see, and I think that's what a lot of other people want to see. But nope. Doesn't matter. Levi kills the Beast Titan in their round 2 in the most anticlimactic way possible. So that I'm a little bit disappointed with, even though I am enjoying seeing, like, the Marleyan warriors get their asses handed to them. Armin makes his big epic return again, where he, you know, detonates the, I was apparently wrong, though. I thought he was going to be airlifted in. That was the whole point of the beacons, that the colossal Titan was going to, like, come in there and, you know, just destroy everything, and then that's how the Survey Corps would escape. And something similar to that might still happen, because, like, what Armin might be doing is that, like, you know, he's still really far away, so he might, you know, not fully Titanize and just sort of, like, use the Colossal Titan's, like, transformation explosion as, like, a nuclear bomb that's portable. So he transforms, you know, destroys the Armada, de-transforms, gets out of the body, you know, uses his gear to get closer, and then transforms it again to, like, let them get out. So, you know, it was nice to see Armin, and but sadly we didn't get to see what his Colossal Titan form looks like, if it's any different than Berthold's. I hope it's a little different. It seems like, you know, given the fact that, like, Porco's Jaw Titan form is very different than Ymir's Jaw Titan form, and, you know, the fact that the Attack Titan form changes so different, you know, drastically from Eren to Kruger to, whatchamacallit, Grishna Jaeger, that there are, like, 3 different forms of the Attack Titan. Just goes to show us that, you know, every time that a core shifter Titan moves from a person, they get their own personalized form. So I hope Armin's Colossal Titan form has, like, a cool, unique design. Whatchamacallit, Ishiyama's definitely been, like, pulling out all the stops. The Warhammer Titan is a really, really cool design, so I'd like to see something as cool or unique as that for Armin's Colossal Titan. That would definitely be able to, you know, take things up a notch. So I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing how this all plays out. But, you know, oh man, poor Piki and the frickin' Cartman Titan just gets completely obliterated by missiles. And, you know, first it seemed like, oh, it's going to fuck shit up. It's got, like, all these machine guns. They're going to, like, tear down the Survey Corps. But then they get a guy flies up, and then Jean shoots like a missile at its face and blows up the face. Sasha snipes one of the gunners, and then a guy goes up, and then they just like launch missiles at it, and it is horrible and gory and amazing, where, you know, the arms, all the guys are dead, the arms being blown off, the legs being blown off, half its head is blown off, the eyeballs like out, Peak is in a horrible shape, and then we get like one little Falco, I think, is like going up and saying, "Come on, stop it, we don't have to hurt anyone, everyone can be fine." But the cycle of tragedy continues, and apparently Commander Magnet is still alive. I thought he was killed during one of those explosions, but I guess they're going to keep him around. I was very surprised, because I thought they were going to decapitate the Marleyan leadership, but I guess not. So, you know, this was like not so much like an impactful chapter in terms of moving the story before. It was just like, you know, balls to the wall action sequences, and it was mostly pretty good. Like, I was, you know, of course disappointed at the Beast Titan and the Colossal Titan reveals, because I thought that there was better ways to handle those two, and I'm still disappointed that, like, it seems like Zeke is going to be, like, taken out so easily. He was built up as, like, oh, he's the strongest, oh my god, I can't wait to see what this guy can do, and, you know, all we've seen him do is just throw rocks. That's all he does. He throws rocks. That's the Beast Titan's power. It's long arms, and it's really good at throwing rocks. I don't know what it is with Japan and monkeys throwing rocks. Like, I don't know if not many of you have like seen my other video, my Mashiro video about the monkey murder manga, but you know, that has a whole scene where like there's this ape with elongated arms that throws rocks at people and knocks their heads off. So I don't know if it's a cultural thing. If any of you have any comments below to link and let me know about why Japan loves monkeys throwing rocks at people, I would love to know. I am like weirdly fascinated why this is like a minor trend in these mangas. But, you know, I wish Zeke had something else to do. I wish he got another big moment, but sadly not. Although it's funny, though, like, if you go on Reddit and, like, the Attack on Titan forums, everyone's, like, talking about how Lady Tibber is, like, the best side-eyed stare, how she's just stuck in that crystal and she just keeps on giving these, like, death glances. It's almost kind of like the Luigi death stare. I kind of hope it becomes a meme when they eventually animate it, where it's like, you know, she's just in that crystal, she's gonna give you that death stare. So... that was, and of course Eren tries to take her, but he can't bite through the crystal, which, you know, we all kind of figured out, but we have a nice little gory scene. And oh man, Eren is just like, must have built up that endurance. He's just like popping out of Titans, re-Titanizing. He's just like continually like, you know, just, I guess that's his sort of like upgrade in terms of like the time jump, in the sense that he's much better at having that Titan endurance where he de-Titanizes and re-Titanizes, and he can do that multiple times, despite the fact previously when they did their experiments they found out that like Titanizing and de-Titanizing kind of led him to reduce his stamina, and each Titan form became less controllable and less coherent, and, you know, just more awful and terrible. But, you know, he's got that stamina. I'm sure Mikasa's happy to see that. Oh, yeah. You know, that's probably going to happen, even though there's next to no romance in the Attack on Titan generally. But, yeah, this was a pretty fun chapter, pretty fun action-filled chapter. You know, Attack on Titan does get pretty good when we get to these just sort of like extended action sequences in terms of like, we're waiting for the build-up, we're waiting for the build-up, we're waiting for the build-up, then everything explodes! Oh my god! Oh, this is the most incredible action ever! And that's one thing that I am very impressed by the series overall, is that, like, you know, Attack on Titan has a lot of different weird elements that, you know, we've got a little bit of steampunk, we've got these weird fleshy mechs, but it's developed such a, you know, wide variety of its own iconography and managed to make it as impactful and badass, and that's like something I always admire in terms of when, like, you know, a manga develops its own mythos, its own sort of storytelling and rule sets, and it manages to be badass by deploying those story elements and iconography on its own terms. You know, it's kind of like the way... It's much more original than when you see, like, another manga series and it does, like, oh, that's, like, a badass thing that we've seen, like, before, because it reminds us of something else. But, you know, versus here, where, oh my god, it's so badass that the freaking cart Titan mech with its, you know, panzer unit on top is being blown apart. And, that's like something that we would never be able to see in any other series. These weird steampunk people who are flying around shooting missiles at these goddamn fleshy mechs. And, it's all iconography that has slowly been built up in terms of, like, we knew about the scouting troops, we knew about the 3D maneuverment gear, we were introduced to the lightning spears, we were introduced to the, fact that there are, like, more of these Titan mechs, and, like, there's only 9 of them, and each one has their own little specified, version of how they look. And, it's kind of impressive to see all these disparate elements sort of come together into something that, like, we haven't seen before. And it's like, I don't think I've ever seen any other manga or comic with, people with freaking Spider-Man gear shooting missiles at fleshy Titan mechs. And that's the only thing you can get here. So, bravo, Ishiyama. Bravo. You done yourself good. So, I wish I could have more analysis and story predictions. It looks like we're a little bit building up to a ultimate scene of, like, Gabby kind of being traumatized in the sense that, like, Falco is begging for Peak to live. But then, they're probably going to kill her along with the other warriors, or at least harm her to the point where, they can still keep her around so they can, like... Because we're definitely going to see, like, the new warrior candidates inherit the old warriors, and this will probably be the death of the old team, this whole event, where they're going to be forced to transfer over. Because essentially, all this is, like, confirming all of the sort of myths and propaganda. Like, you couldn't ask for a better thing. Like if good old President Trump, wants to, like, instigate hatred against Muslims or Mexicans, he couldn't ask for anything better than, like, an evil drug cartel to, like, come across the border, murder up a town in Texas or take over the Alamo, and kill all the, like, World War II veterans who come there. That is, like, what is going on right now. Like this is, like, incredible in terms of, like, confirming all of the awful propaganda that they have about the people of Paradise Island and the Eldians. Like, it would be very hard to, like, say, like, oh no, they're not the devils, they're actually people who have lives and just want to be treated well, as opposed to being like, oh, these are these horrible mass murdering people who bomb and murder and kill civilians and children, and there is no defense against that. So, we're almost getting to a sort of theme where, like, the cycle of oppression and violence is just perpetuating into infinity, where it's just like this endless cycle of revenge. And it's almost like Attack on Titan is kind of becoming like Myst meets Munich, where in the end of Munich, it's like the Israelis want to get revenge for the people who kidnapped and killed the Israeli athletes. And then, Eric Bana's character ultimately determines that, like, revenge will lead to ultimately more revenge, and it'll just be a never-ending cycle. Also similar to the book, the Paul Verhoeven movie, Black Book, I think it's called, where, it's about the woman who, like, in the post-Nazi World War II Germany, and then eventually, like, when, she gets oppressed by the Nazis, then she gets oppressed by the people who hate the Nazis because they think that, she's a double agent, and she almost dies, and then it all ends with her, like, going to Israel, and then there's, like, an air raid siren as, like, the cycle of hatred continues to perpetuate, and she can never escape from it, which is, like, really, really dark, and, that's kind of like what we're getting here from this good old chapter of Attack on Titan. But good stuff, fun, actiony, good, gory, fun times. So yeah, good old 8.0 chapter. I can't wait for next week. Hope we get to see what Armin's colossal Titan form works out. And, I'm interested to see how much longer this goes. It definitely feels like, maybe like 2 more chapters of action sequences. Then we get to the fallout. And then we'll probably, like, move on to, like, the final battle where all the world, tries to attack Paradise Island because they're all united because of this. But, good stuff. I can't wait to see what happens next. And, it's definitely been good after, like, so many chapters of build-up and sticking around in Marley. So, thank you for hanging around and listening to my thoughts on this chapter. Please let me know, like, what is a good format for these, like, mid-tier videos. Like, I'm going back and forth between, like, just having images of the comic flash by and seeing if you like that, or would you prefer to I just, like, find AMVs or video game footage? What do you want to see? That is what I want to know, like, kind of, like, find something that works. But so far, I haven't gotten an answer. But anyway, thank you again for hanging out, and remember, lobsters and tennis, don't you grab it.